evening, you're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The Sultanate's embassy in Japan assures citizens of the safety of the Omani students after the strong earthquake that hit the region of Kyushu, southwest of Japan. The 13th Summit of Organization of Islamic Cooperation concludes its work, emphasizing support for Islamic and Arab issues. And Paris speaks about new coordination with Moscow to resolve the Syrian crisis as confrontations rage in Homs, Rastan and Aleppo. Those were the headlines, and now for the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has sent a cable of greetings to Her Majesty Margaret II of Denmark on her birthday. The Sultanate's embassy in Japan today has assured citizens of the safety of Omani students studying in areas affected by the strong earthquake that has hit the region of Kyushu, southwest of Japan, with a magnitude of 6.5 on the Richter scale yesterday evening and aftershocks that are still going on. The embassy mentioned in a statement that in case of any occurrence, God forbid, it calls on the students and visiting citizens to contact the embassy directly. It also emphasized the importance of Omani citizens either residing or visiting Japan to register their data with the embassy. Researchers have searched through the rubble for possible survivors today after a powerful earthquake in southern Japan has left at least 9 people dead. By this afternoon, the government said it had confirmed that 881 people were injured, at least 52 seriously. Tens of thousands of people fled their homes after the 6.5 magnitude quake struck the southwestern island of Kyushu last night, leaving lumps of broken concrete in the streets. Houses collapsed, factories stopped working, and a high-speed train was derailed, while the roof of the treasured Kumamoto Castle in the southern city of the same name was also damaged. Rescuers were concentrating their searches near the epicenter of the quake, where 8 of the 9 deaths had occurred. Works of the 13th Summit of Organization of Islamic Cooperation, OIC, were concluded in the Turkish city of Istanbul after 2 days of deliberations among the members. Final communique of the summit called for the support for the political progress in Syria under the patronage of the United Nations to achieve political transition, besides calling the international community for the necessity of assisting host countries of the Syrian refugees. With regard to the Palestinian cause, participating countries called to convene an international conference for peace and to put an end to the Israeli occupation of the Palestinian territories. The communique emphasized support for constitutional legitimacy in Yemen, embodied in President Abdul Rabu Mansour Hadi, and to support the necessary political settlement efforts peacefully. On the Libyan affairs, the summit urged all countries not to intervene in international affairs of Libya and welcomed the political deal which was concluded in Morocco under the UN patronage in December and resulting in forming a national unity government led by Faz al-Sarraj. The Sultanate participated in the OIC summit by a delegation led by His Excellency Dr. Yahya bin Mahfoud al-Manthri, Chairman of the State Council. Yemeni forces backed by Apache helicopters from Arab coalition wrestled the city of Houta from al-Qaeda militants after a gun battle this morning and arrested 49 people suspected militants. At least 35 pro-government fighters were killed during the first 3 days of the truce, according to military sources. Hours later, a car bomb detonated outside Foreign Ministry in the southern Yemeni city of Aden, causing no casualties. Daesh militants claimed responsibility in a posting on its Ahmak news agency website. The recapture of Houta region capital of southern Lahaj province, which was being held by the militants since last summer, is one of the embattled Yemeni government's most important inroads against all al-Qaeda forces who have taken advantage of more than a year of war to seize territory. Government troops began their attack at daybreak and succeeded after several hours of airstrikes and heavy combat, the military told officials Reuters. Syrian government airstrikes held rebel-held areas north of the city of Homs for a second day The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights Monitoring Group said a number of raids hit the town of Raskin in the northern province and other towns and villages nearby, and barrel bombs had been dropped from helicopters in the past 24 hours. The bombardments came after the United Nations started a new round of peace talks in Geneva, and as surging fighting in Aleppo challenged a fragile cessation of hostilities deals, which was agreed in February. The Britain-based observatory said today home strikes were believed to be carried out by the Syrian Air Force rather than Russian planes. French President François Hollande stressed that his country seeks in coordination with Russia to find a solution for the Syrian crisis without any role for the Syrian President Bashar al-Assad in transition period. He said that France had played an ideal role in efforts to end the 5-year war in Syria. He added that France had supported the Syrian opposition and fought Daesh, wishing that the current phase of Geneva negotiations can find political settlement among all parties. The Afghan military said its air force has hit Daesh group militants in the eastern province of Nangarhar, killing at least 40 insurgents. The airstrike also wounded several militant fighters. The strike targeted a meeting of Daesh group fighters that was underway in the area. Most of the dead were foreign fighters, and that their bodies were collected by local villagers and handed over to the militant group, which had gained a foothold in the area. Nangarhar had seen heavy fighting between the militants, many of whom are disgruntled former Taliban members, weary of the insurgents' failure to overthrow the Kabul government and rival Taliban. Still to come in our news bulletin. The Mahadab municipality, in cooperation with Omani Women's Association, organizes a food safety exhibition. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. The Omani Society of Obstetrics and Gynecology, in collaboration with Merck Middle East Organization, an international conference on infertility. More details in the following report by Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rubai.
Raising the level of care for health in women throughout the Sultanate in general, and specifically in the area of reproductive health and care of women and fetus until birth and beyond, is being given special attention. Thus, 150 physicians representing government and private healthcare institutions in the Sultanate are attending this international conference. The conference is being participated by 3 international specialists from Belgium, UK and UAE. Professor Dr. Houmen Foutaimi, Medical Director, Consultant Gynecology and Obstetrics, Reproductive Endocrinology, Nova IVI Fraternity Clinic, Abu Dhabi, UAE, spoke to us and said,
we were invited here to speak about the human reproduction, about the different causes that patients specifically in the Middle East, in Oman, in UAE might have as the cause of not getting pregnant. We have found recently out that actually the patients within the GCC countries do have a specific kind of infertility. It seems that the lack of vitamin D, marriage within a family, and also obesity seems to have a big impact on the reproduction.
Dr. Tamima bint Rashid Ad-Reishia, president of the society and senior consultant Sultan Qaboos University Hospital, in her speech highlighted the objectives of the society and its achievements from the time of its establishments in the year 2013. She said this has assisted in raising the level of care in the field of Omani women, delayed childbearing and infertility. She also said,
This international conference main objective is to advance knowledge in infertility management of women who have difficulty in getting pregnant, in terms of investigating them and do the appropriate diagnosis and then appropriate treatment accordingly.
Dr. Noor Al-Madri, Senior Consultant Obstetrics and Gynecology, Royal Hospital, spoke to us and said,
"It's very important subject because most of our patients in the gynae, about 60 to 70% of them present with problem to conceive, and it is a common problem throughout the Gulf countries."
And Dr. Dina bint Saleh Al-Bloushia, Senior Specialist in Obstetrics and Gynecology, Barka Polyclinic, also said,
participating in this very interesting advanced fertility symposium. I've attended this for the first time, but it seems to be a very nice and interesting conference.
This conference, which has been organized in collaboration with Merrick Middle East, will contribute to the definition of doctors working in the Sultanate on the latest developments in the treatment of delayed childbearing and how to diagnose the diseases, and raising the efficiency of the doctors in the use of ultrasound in the specialty areas. The mission of Omani Society for Obstetrics and Gynecology is to promote optimal health care of women by providing the best health care services. Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rubi'i, Sultanate of Oman Television, Intercontinental Hotel.
Oman oil price June delivery reached $40.01. Dubai Mercantile Exchange statement said that the price of Oman oil declined 10% from the price of yesterday, which was $40.11. The average price of Oman oil May delivery 2016 has stabilized at $36.34, thus $6.11 per barrel, higher than the April delivery 2016. Within the aim to enhance the scientific excellence in the Directorate General of Education in the Governorate of South Sharqiya, spread the positive competition among school students in the Governorate, a ceremony was held to celebrate OMEFCO Award for Scientific Excellence. The ceremony included a number of artistic items, student talents, as well as honouring the excelled student. The celebration, which was held in the Walaya of Sur, came to enhance and encourage the students' abilities as well as improve their skills. At the end of the ceremony, the students expressed that such events encourage them to give more effort and develop their talents. With the aim to develop the skills and capabilities of children who are 5 to 10 years old, the Omani Golf Committee organised the first Golf Youngsters Festival in the Wave Golf Club in Muscat. It included a participation from around 60 Omani children players, as well as a number of other communities. The origin of this sport dated back to 1457 in Scotland, and then it spread to other continents. Golf is considered one of those sports that require patience and intelligence, as well as clear thinking. It is practiced by the youth and the elderly. The Golf Festival witnessed tough competitions amongst the youngsters who were chosen from various clubs around the Sultanate. The Omani Golf Committee seeks to develop this sport, in addition to making it a well-known sport around the Sultanate, since it is also considered significant for the touristic aspect of the country. Within the aim to increase awareness of the importance of food safety among society segments, Mahada Municipality, in cooperation with Omani Women's Association in the Walaya, organized food safety exhibition. The exhibition included domestic agriculture and food products, as well as a virtual show to present the importance of quality and safety of the food. And now for the general weather forecast. Clear to partly cloudy skies will prevail over the northern parts of the Sultanate, with chances of scattered rain on the governorates of Dahira, Musandam, Buraymi and North Batna, as well as cloud accumulation and scattered rains, occasionally thunderous on the Hajar Mountains and its nearby areas during the evening, and expected to extend to the coast of the Sea of Oman. Winds will be northeasterly light to moderate over the coastal areas of the Sea of Oman. Along the rest of the governorates, it will be south to southwesterly light to moderate. Seas along the coast will be slight to moderate with a maximum wave height of 1.5 meters. This is the Sultan of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The Sultanate's embassy in Japan assures citizens on the safety of the Omani students after the strong earthquake that hit the region of Kyushu, southwest of Japan. The 13th Summit of Organization of Islamic Cooperation concludes its workshop, emphasizing support for Islamic and Arab issues. And Paris speaks about new coordination with Moscow to resolve the Syrian crisis as confrontation rages in Homs, Rastan and Aleppo. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsrooms and the studio, it's good night.